Hello, children. Are you ready for some cutting up and kikiing? Are you ready for a gay old time? Well, I hope you are, because now it's time for Hey Queen with your host, Johnny McGovern.
Hey Queen, come on and spill the tea. Hey Queen, it's just a good old-fashioned kiki. Hey Queen, we're cutting up with Johnny. Hey, 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 hey Queen.
Hello, my sexy almost superheroes, and welcome to another runway-ready episode of Hong Kong with me, your host, Johnny McGovern. Ooh, today's show is giving you couture, darling. We have a model among us, yes, children, a model. Walk, 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 and walk. Because you always know if there's walk, walk, and walk, the only thing to follow it with is walk. She's a pioneer and a groundbreaker. She's the first trans contestant on America's Next Top Model and an advocate in her own right. Miss Isis King is in the studio. Yes. But before she struts her stuff on out here, there's someone else who can also destroy a catwalk. She's the mother goddess in my temple. The men all flock to her for the taste of the nectar. And like a gorgeous sequin gown, she's sparkly, she's red carpet ready, and if you're not careful, she'll rip you to shreds. It's Miss Lady Red Couture.
Oh, God. Hey, Queen.
Oh, hey, Queen.
You give the best, shadiest intros.
What can I say?
Live,
There's a
honey.
staff of hundreds working in a basement writing them every day.
Love that.
Well, speaking of shady intros, you kind of remind me of the diva from The Fifth Element today.
I mean, this is my version of black sci-fi.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we ain't going to get too into it, but we do want to make it look very different.
Oh, I love it. Lady Red, the host of BET's hot new sci-fi show, The Black Hole. Lady Red searches throughout the universe for the deepest and darkest black holes to explore. I do love it when you wear crazy sparkly shit that you found and turn it into couture, honey.
It's all about, you know what they say about me. As soon as I walk in the room, they say, oh my God, Lady Red Couture is here. Hide your Christmas decorations.
Watch out.
She'll walk off with your shit.
She took that Christmas ornament, boop, boop.
Baby.
She took the tree tinsel, whoop.
Why'd you steal two? Because I had to have earrings.
I mean, of course, darling. What else would there be? What else would there be? Our special band leader, Adam Joseph, is too famous for us right now. He's on tour in Europe, honey. He's back to the Sex Club tour of Europe. Every sex club is going to have a live performance by Adam Joseph.
Oh, wow, I never said that. Wow.
I did. No, as usual, it always happens during this part of the Hey Queen season.
Yeah.
Adam has his big European tour. He does it every single year.
Yes.
So we're without a band leader.
Yeah.
Miss Erica Couture, our band leader from last year, also too busy.
Well.
But luckily, we know a lot of stars.
Oh.
We know a lot of singing divas.
Mm-hmm.
And today we have a very special band leader, and I would watch your motherfucking purses, bitch. Because this bitch stole your purse. Our guest band leader for today, Miss Wendy Ho and the Go to Bed Wigs. Yay!
Hey, 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 Queen.
Yes, the beautiful sounds. Wendy, you know what we're not used to in the band leader position is
These
all
titties,
them
girl.
titties, honey. Yes.
I brought the girls for you.
Yes, you did. Wendy, thank you for being here to kiki with us today.
Well, I'm glad I was, third on the list. Thank you for having me.
Well, we always
It's nice
look-
to know where I fall in the lineup.
We always look in the family first because you
first.
can be annoying to them and be like, can you be here at 10 in the morning and just come and do it and sing a little bit?
Now, don't pretend you just didn't walk out on Santa Monica Boulevard and find my ass.
You're right.
You're like,
I'm
bitch, I see you already working, so why don't you just come on in the studio today?
Yeah, exactly. A Lady Red, we were like, oh, who's a hooker who's already up early in the morning trolling Santa Monica Boulevard? And
Now,
Lady
go to
Red
time,
said
girl.
she knew.
Come on.
Wendy, you have a brand new song out.
I do. It's called Selfie Stick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little double entendre.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So yes, it's a new video on my YouTubes. Head on over to Wendy the Ho. Check it out.
Yeah.
Get you a selfie stick.
Oh.
If you get a selfie stick, you don't need a dick. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right. You can always count on a classic song from Wendy Ho. Much like myself, we can always be depended on to rhyme classy with assy
can't.
or dick with stick.
You right,
So,
bitch.
thank
You were right
goodness.
about that.
So you know what, Wendy? You are part of the family. How can I forget?
Thank you,
That's why you're
girl.
here and being annoyed this early in the morning. We bless you for that, honey. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Happy
your
to
new
be here.
single is RuPaul approved.
Yes, it is. Miss RuPaul did shout it out.
Uh-huh.
She always gags me a little bit when she does that. I'm just
I
like,
mean, right? You're like,
Yes.
what, RuPaul? You, me, you know who
I am.
bitch.
yes, it's an honor.
It's an honor, a wonderful honor. Well, we have a big show today, honey. Isis King is in the building, honey. She's gonna strut her way onto the set right after this very gay break. Take it away, Wendy Ho and the Go to Bed Wigs.
Isis King, giving you everything on Hey Queen.
Yeah!
Hey Queen.
I'm spilling the tea. It's gonna be hot, hot, hot.
It's Hey Queen Hot Tea, the show where we sip steaming hot celebrity lives and throw Hollywood shade. I'm your host, Mr. Johnny McGovern, with my favorite hilarious people, Julie Goldman, Lady Red Couture, beautiful Brandy Howard.
Oh God, it's so hot I don't want to touch it, but I just can't resist.
Real Housewives, real plastic surgery. Richard Simmons transitions.
She looks like Kelly Osbourne.
Trixie Mattel. Manila Luzon. Brandy Madden's boyfriend is
Callum Best.
Obviously, he's good at what he does because he's fucked the best of the best.
Kylie, Chloe, and Kim have not gotten near a white dick since junior high.
Release the Kraken!
I cannot deal with that at all. I will go crazy. It's making me crazy right now, and now I'm insane.
Oh, but if you want the tea, honey, the total tea, girl. No O's, honey, the tea.
We are back. Now, our guest today is quite a stunner. Honestly, when I looked at her, I said, God damn, you look good. She was the first transgender contestant on America's Next Top Model, and she's currently killing it on her brand new reality show, Strut. I'm talking about Isis King. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Isis King, giving you everything on Hey Queen.
Isis, I would get up, but they strapped me into the damn chair. Isis King, everybody, look at this beauty. Oh, honey, how are you doing? Hey,
I'm
Queen.
doing wonderful. How are you?
I am good.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen. Lady Red, look at this beauty right here, honey.
I told you quit bringing these pretty bitches on this show.
Y'all look like y'all can form like some kind of superhero duo right now.
Okay.
I think so.
Red and King, they fighting
Yes.
evil. I mean, you.
Well, I did, like, my style today is based on Storm from, like, the punk pop era.
Yeah.
So, she's my favorite superhero. My hair color is like this because of her.
Yeah, you say you were giving a full Storm look today.
Yeah, I'm giving you full, like, golden goddess.
Yes, you are, honey. Well, congratulations on everything that's been going on. I mean, how is it being a newly minted full-time reality star and model on Strut? Tell me about that.
Well, the thing is, I moved to LA about 6 months ago to pursue my acting. Like, I've been focused on acting for many years,
Right.
but to really full throttle go with it. And Strut kind of happened in that time where I wasn't expecting it, but I'm like, you know what? I have to go for it. Top Model was way before its time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, so we're just kind of seeing what's going on, waiting to find out about season 2.
Right.
And actually, like, I made some really good friends. Me and Arise, who we were kind of like enemies on the show.
Yeah.
We're so close now. We have so much in common. Like, we're working on a web series together about our dating lives. So, like, me, her, and our friend Brandon, who is a cinematographer, like, we're working on it based on our, like, real life dating experiences.
Fun. Now that must be
It's gonna be fun.
something to get into, honey.
Yeah, like two trans women, we have so much in common. So two trans women and the things that we deal with dating.
Yeah. Now let's get into that. What are some of the things people wouldn't really know, like with the things that you're dealing with as a trans woman when you move to LA, you're a model, you're an actress, you're on TV, and then you're trying to be like, I mean, swipe.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I mean, it's hard because the thing is, like, a guy could be so into you and like, oh, you're so beautiful, you have all these X, Y, and Z, you're doing stuff with your life. But as soon as he finds out you're trans, no matter how established you are, no matter how polished you are, no matter how positive you are, most of the time that all disappears and they just say, oh, I can't be with you, but we can do this. And I'm just like, I'm a grown woman. I've been abstinent for over 2 years at this point.
Really?
And it's just like, I'm more than that. So I had to start reprogramming the way I think. Like, you're not the prize. I know that I'm the prize. So if you're not going to bring the same thing to the table, why am I going to keep making myself feel less than because you want to feel better about yourself?
Right.
If you know I'm worth, if you know you like everything you saw and you really want to get to know me and then that just changed everything, then that's on you. That's not me. It's not nothing I can do. I'm just being myself.
Right. Now, are you finding that a lot of guys are not able to, don't want to be in a public relationship, but still want to get a little something in the bedroom?
Oh, well, that's most guys.
That's what it is.
That's
right.
like, literally, like they would say most of the time, you know, oh, well, I'm not looking for a relationship, even after they had just said they were.
Right, yeah.
I'm not looking for a relationship, you know, but we can hang out, or we can hook up.
Right.
And, you know, I'm at a place in my life where I'm worth more than that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A guy can get his rocks off and keep going, and not saying that women can't too, but me personally, I'm an emotional person, so why is it that you get something from it and then I'm left here with these emotions, you know? So I decided to just, you know, when something good happens or comes along and I think is right for me, then that'll be the next person.
I like it. That's good. I mean, that's a good message also there's a lot more younger trans people at this point that are at least out publicly and kind of discovering themselves more than ever. And I think someone like you is really important for them to hear so they can understand their own self-worth.
Thank you. Yeah, it took me my entire 20s. It took me 2 abusive relationships.
Right.
I also seen my mom in 2 abusive marriages. So I realized there was a cycle that I had to break. I realized one day you only accept what you think you're worth. So I had to reprogram my own brain, you know, and all these relationships, guys would say, you know, well, this is the best you're going to get. You're a public out trans figure. Like, this is the best. And I'm just like, wait a minute, no. I deserve to get what I give someone else. And if I'm going to give you the stability and the emotional support as a black trans woman, where black trans women are considered like the bottom of the totem pole, you know, we're the bottom, we're the ones that are getting murdered, we're the ones that are most likely to be homeless and kicked out. If I'm emotionally stable, you're not going to play on that. And I had to like build my own self up, and that was a few years to just say, let me date myself.
Yes, I like that. That is really good, really good.
Okay.
Now, you've been on Strut, and now you were on Top Model, which is its own type of reality. Twice, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember All Stars, honey. But now you're on Strut, which is a much more all-encompassing reality show. We're getting into your personal life, your daily stuff, your fights with the other girls on the show, the drama. Tell me about that experience.
It was an interesting experience because, you know, Top Model, you're kind of just thrown in there with all the girls.
Right.
And also I was so young, you know. But this time around, I know who I am. I'm a lot stronger. I'm a lot older. And it's just interesting to be put in the situations where you get to know these new people and you have to be around them, you know. But it's not a competition. You want to be the best. You want to stand out. But it's not a competition. So I come from the ballroom scene. I come from Top Model. So I already have this kind of programmed in competitive thing, but it's nice to just sit back and say, we all have our own storylines, and it's just nice to know that I'm not going to be eliminated.
Right, you cannot
unless
be eliminated
the show doesn't come back,
right.
you know, but outside of that, you know, it's nice because eliminations are like the worst feelings ever.
I can only imagine. Well, let's talk about Top Model for a little bit. I mean, you were on there twice.
Yes.
Now the prelude to your Top Model is quite a sort of a dramatic story.
Yeah.
So you had gone to school for fashion design, right, in Philadelphia?
I won a 4 scholarship to go to school for fashion design, Art Institute of Philadelphia.
Right.
And then after that, I moved back home for a little bit, and then I had just got out of a domestic abusive relationship.
Right.
And that kind of triggered me going to therapy for abuse, but the therapy triggered me saying that I'm not going to live my life for other people anymore.
Right.
So even though the therapy was for help me with the domestic violence, it triggered me saying I'm finally going to transition.
Right.
So I said I'm going to move to New York to pursue my career as a fashion designer, but the most part of that was to transition because I knew that my family at that time, I was starting to go androgynous, like finally growing my hair out, a little bit of mascara, and it was like, this is too much for the house. So I knew that I didn't want to be hindered. So my move to New York, it was like, to pursue my designing, but it was really to transition. So I started making connections with ballroom people. It was through MySpace.
Right.
So it was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a decade ago. I was 21 when I moved to New York, and that changed my life.
And you, at one point, instead of deciding to go back home when things got tough, you moved into the shelter at the Ali Forney Center.
I like how you know everything.
Of course, you're on Hey Queen.
Yeah.
I did my research, okay?
No, but I decided to go back because right when I went into the shelter 6 months into moving to New York, I had just started taking hormones literally like the week I moved into the shelter.
Right.
So if I went back, if it was a problem with me having mascara, it would be a problem with me.
Taking your hormones every day, which you can't be skipping.
Exactly.
Because you're going to go crazy. Right? You'll start to really be dramatic and emotional at home.
And the thing is, my mom was dealing with her own, her second abusive marriage at the time, too. So that was a big part of me not wanting to go back. But I went into the shelter because I knew that they could help me with my transition, especially in New York. There's so many options of help for the trans community. So I did that. I was going to Colin Lord to get my hormones. I was in Ali Forney, and then I was a part of an organization called Reciprocity Foundation. They take people who are homeless, who are interested in artistic careers, and teach them. They do meditation, different things like that. So I said, I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity that I can get as someone who is homeless.
Right.
So I went to all these different things, and Reciprocity, I guess Top Model, called them saying, we're doing this photo shoot, this homeless photo shoot, and we would like a couple of your people for the background. And automatically they thought of me.
Right, I remembered that.
Yeah, so that was cycle 10 of Top Model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then what was the next step of really getting into Top Model itself?
Well, number one, when I was in the background of the photo shoot, I was listening to everything Mr. J was saying and to the model, but I started inching up because I was in a ballroom scene and I'm just used to competing. So I'm just like, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm soaking everything in more than them.
Right.
Inching up to the light, he kept saying, model, can you go back? Can you go back? I was like, Mr. J, my name is Isis. So then he starts saying, Isis, blah, 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 blah. And it got to a point he would tell each girl, watch out for Isis. She's going to try to take your light.
Oh.
Your spot. And that was, so he knew me, and then I ended up being friends with a couple of the girls, and he told me literally at that panel, only thing they were talking about was me.
Wow.
In the background. So that's also nice, to hear, because sometimes, I didn't want to go on originally. I was like, I don't know if they're just trying to use me or what, but to hear that from some of the girls, kind of solidified my feelings about going on Top Model because they pursued me. And I finally said yes.
So then you're thrown into the mix.
Yes.
With a million bio girls, cisgender girls who are just sometimes rotted as hell. And so you get into the house. What was that like
some of them
when you
needed to be thrown away.
You first walked in? What was that whole experience like? Because you were the first transgender woman on Top Model, and none of these girls from Delaware or whatever were expecting anything like that. So what was the reaction, and how did you prepare yourself for that?
See, the thing is, there was no blueprint, so there was nobody really doing that before I did it. I also wasn't one of those trans girls that had transitioned for many years and knew all the tricks and the tips. I wasn't on hormones not even a year when I was on Top Model.
Wow.
So it was interesting. I didn't go on there to tell them. One girl ended up finding out, and then she kind of told everybody, and it was this whole big thing. But I went on there to just win and to try to get out of the shelter and help my mom and to follow my dreams. That was really the whole point. So I was there focused. I wasn't in there worried about what they thought because I didn't really know what to expect because I never really was outed. Like everything was just so quick with my transition.
Right. And you're in the middle of New York, and you're in the ballroom scene, and you're in the, Callan Lord community.
Yeah,
it's
but
all
I was
very
also,
accepting.
Yeah, exactly. But I was also always in this bubble,
Yeah.
So I went to LA. This was my first time on a plane. Bought suitcases for the first time, all that stuff. I was just so focused on winning and knowing that I'm better. Like, let me get on the runway. I'll show you I can outwalk all these girls. And you want to pose? I can outpose all these girls. So I just went there confident, knowing that if I made it this far, I'm going to keep going. So I wasn't worried about them. And I ended up making a couple really good friendships. But I also gave this energy, like this really innocent, vulnerable energy. And I think that if you don't go on and be a bitch, then it's easy to, people to not feel like they want to just be mean to you.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Some of the girls were a little shady behind the scenes.
I bet they were.
but not to my face. And that's because don't let the innocent thing fool you. I can hold my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, any girl who's from the ballroom scene, honey, is not to be messed with.
Exactly. And I'm from Maryland, and I went to school in Philly, and I lived in New York and Jersey. People forget that. I'm like, don't play yourself. I got my mother all through my blood, and she don't play that.
All right. Now, what was your introduction into the ballroom scene, and what categories were you walking, honey?
Yeah, the category is. Okay, so I actually didn't walk balls for long. I wanted to get into the scene because when I lived in Philly for school, I seen Paris is Burning and I seen Octavia.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her on MySpace, and that was one of the first people who I reached out to.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I want to go with the name Isis. What do you think? And she was just like, that name is beautiful. And I look forward to meeting her, and she passed before we could meet.
Octavia St. Laurent, of course. She was I got to meet her, and she was so
jealous.
She was everything that you could imagine.
Yeah.
She was so beautiful and lovely and such a sweet energy.
I was so excited to meet her, and I didn't get a chance to because she passed away. But seeing her on Paris is Burning made me want to find out more about the ballroom scene. So I found Amaya on MySpace, and then I started making connections. And that's how I got into the ballroom scene. I moved to New York and already had connections from MySpace with a house. And that was because I wanted to transition, and I knew that I didn't have the resources or know what to do.
Right.
But I knew that in the ballroom scene, they did.
Oh, yes, they did, honey.
So that's what I did.
I can only imagine whatever house was sitting there and saw you and was like, get her, bring her to me, and make her walk.
The thing is, I went into the ballroom scene expecting it to be like a house, but I had a really bad experience. But the categories I walked before I took hormones, was realness, face, and runway.
Oh, yes.
And then right when I took my first hormone, I did a documentary called Born in the Wrong Body, and I literally just took my first hormone, and one of the other people knew that. So I walked drag's face for the last, this is going to be my last time. And they chopped because they said she's not drag. And I was literally like, I just took my first hormone a week ago.
Right.
Literally nothing, no nothing.
Right.
So after that, I didn't walk anymore. But mainly
the judges
runway.
were wrong. They were wrong, darling. You were robbed.
But mainly runway was my main category. I got into the ballroom scene outside of transitioning because as a designer, my background is design, and some of the categories would call for these creative, elaborate things that reminded me of my design classes in college.
Yeah.
So I would love to make my costumes. But, I felt like a lot of times because I was not as known, it would be the girlfriend thing, the girlfriend panel. So to get up there with an outfit I make and the obvious, everybody knows that I clearly won and it's still not win, that got tired really quickly. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. So I still watch, I still support, I still have a lot of friends there. I watch ballroom throwbacks every week.
I mean, can't get enough of that money.
But as far as walking balls, not really. The last one I think I walked was Giselle Extravaganza ball. It was runway for $1,000. I walked like rent had to be paid because it did, and I won.
Of course you did.
So yeah, she's my good friend, by the way. But yeah, it's just got interesting because I feel like a lot of times it's not based on being fair, and I know if I'm going to come out here and serve it, and everybody's just like, she clearly won.
Gagged.
And then I'm like, I'm trying to gag you, and then I obviously gag you, and then it's just the people their friends, you know,
Right.
and I don't walk that often, so
Yeah.
it's like, so yeah,
You're like,
why do
I'll
that?
stick to regular runways. Lady Red, what are we going to do about the corruption in the ball scene? If Isis is walking and not snatching a trophy, honey, that's bullshit.
We're just gonna have to give them the chop.
The chop of life,
Yes. Wait, can I
darling.
please try
Oh,
this?
yes, come on, Isis.
They're gonna
you
get
know.
the
Yeah. Yes. Yes, give them face. Yes, give them everything. Isis, you're snatching my trophy already. My goodness. Now, the funny thing about that, them not giving you the snatching the trophy on the runway is that you've graduated to real fucking runways,
Yeah.
honey, for huge designers, big shows. Now, what are the tips? What is the tips to
Can I
really
just
kill
say
the runway?
something really quickly? My first ball ever, and it's on YouTube. Jack and Sylvan, I had on like this red outfit that I made. It was Icon Ball 2007. It was my first time I stormed on the runway, and they start chanting, "Wanna be on top, wanna be on top, wanna be on top." And then ironically, a year later, I was on top model.
You was on top.
So it's just ironic. A tip that I would give someone for
Yeah.
walking,
Mm-hmm.
always keep your head up.
Uh-huh.
Never look down.
Right?
And slay.
Slay.
Just serve the girls, you know?
I mean, can you give us a little taste of how to slay them on the runway?
Ooh, always.
All right, yes. All right, and you got to go walk, 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 and walk. Walk, 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 and walk. Walk, 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 and pose. Now, hold that pose for me. Yeah! Oh, my God! I'm in runway heaven!
That was like, bring it to the judges.
Bring it to the judges. Give them everything. Oh, is it soft? It's soft. Oh my God, Isis, I could just sit here and watch you do couch posing all day long. I love it.
Thank you. This is fun. Let me just tell you, I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so happy to finally be here.
Yes.
Number one, I love sparkly stuff because I was a mermaid in a past life.
Yes.
And I just think you're like really raw, and I like that. You're like the Howard Stern, but for the gays.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Exactly right. I'll take it. Now, Lady Red, can you find me some of that Howard Stern money, please?
Okay.
No.
I did Howard Stern show years before, and
You did?
it was. He asked me some stuff. I was like turning red.
I bet.
I was so shocked.
I bet he was getting very personal questions.
He was getting in there.
Uh-huh. And how did you handle that?
I was shocked because I knew he had trans people on the show before, but I just didn't think he would just be so like forward and saying that stuff. So I literally turned red. I was just laughed.
Oh my God.
He's like, "Come on, baby, show me that ass.
Wow.
Come on, baby, show me." He's like, "You're the most beautiful." He was like, "What would you do if I X, Y, and Z?" And I was just like, I was like, "Robin," and she's just laughing, and I'm like turning completely red. And I was like, "Wow, okay." He's like, "Baby, if I wasn't with my wife," I was like, "Okay, Howard."
Wow, Howard. I do want to talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff going on with trans kids and the bathroom bills and things going on. And it's so important that you're really stepping out and being so visible right now.
Yeah.
You know, the TV show, I mean, it was amazing on Top Model, but to be back on TV for Strut and to be in front of the cameras as much as you are, because obviously we have a president who's not caring about trans issues and trans kids and not understanding them.
Obama loves us. What are you talking about?
Exactly. If only he was still our president, honey. This president is not our president, but he is in charge.
Yeah.
Grab the fan.
Continue.
I mean, so first of all, we know there was the removal of protection for trans kids in terms of bathrooms. And obviously we're having all these insane bathroom bills. What's your thoughts on this stuff? And what is the most important things we can do to keep ourselves active in what's going on?
I would say that the best thing right now to do is, like, there's so much division within the community. We really need the allies to step up and to be there for us and just to be our backbone when it's hard, because it is really hard right now for trans issues. And it's important. You have the feminist speaking the other day and saying that, like, trans black women don't have the same struggles as you know, black women who are not trans. And it's just like,
Oy, oy, oy.
we keep going backwards, you know? We have to keep working together because we're just going back into a very segregated place.
Yeah.
And it's stupid and it doesn't make sense. But this is reality. We can't no longer not talk about race issues. We can't no longer not talk about trans issues. Like, what can I do? What is my platform? My platform is like homeless youth.
Yeah.
My platform is like really speaking to the kids on that level where they can understand and being there for them. So
Yeah.
that's really what I have been trying to hone in on.
And you're on the board of, what are you on the board of in New York?
For Ali Forney Center.
You're from the Ali Forney Center,
Yeah.
the only person on the board who's been through the program.
Yeah.
So that's a very important position to be in.
Thank
because
you.
there's a lot of people who are wanting to help, but until you've had to ride in that life and be
Yeah.
there, that's a really important thing for you to be there and give a voice to those young kids.
I'm trying. It's still, you know, it's still a struggle.
But at least you're looking gorgeous
I mean,
while
you have to
doing
look.
it,
You have
honey.
to look gorgeous while doing it, honey. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what you're going through. It's only as good as how you look. And when I lived in the shelter at Ali Forney, I was working at Bumble and Bumble, and the whole time until the documentary came out, nobody knew I was homeless. And I just learned that from my mom. We were homeless at one point and living in a car as a kid.
Wow.
And no matter what, my mom always had herself polished, and you would never know, just because you never know what that looking polished can do for you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter anything. It's just putting your best foot forward because presentation is worth more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you are presenting beautifully today, honey. Isis, thank you for being here, darling.
you for
look
having
so
me.
gorgeous. Your runway walk slayed it. You know what? It slayed me so hard that I'm giving you a trophy, honey. You snatched a trophy. Yeah. Yeah, grab your trophy. And honey, you also get yourself a lap dance. Yeah. Isis is a little something extra. Isis, you may have found your new man who treats you like a treasure. Lady Red, take us out with a Black Lady Screaming.
Hey, queen! Hey! I'm the king of the queen! Hey, queen!
Yeah! Isis, I hope you enjoyed that. When she's crying, Joel, oh my God! All right, everyone, we're not done with beautiful Isis King. We're going to be talking to her about all the different stars that she's looked at and worked with on Look at Her. Thank you, Lady Red. Thank you to the beautiful Wendy Ho.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Selfie Stick. And thank you, Isis. We love you, honey. We'll see you next time on Hey Queen. Bye, baby.
Oh my God.